one chore you always have to do is winterizing. We just got back from our maiden voyage in this camper. We've had campers for 30-something years. Freezing temperatures coming again tomorrow morning, so winterizing again. I have 1 gallon of antifreeze. I have this little guy and an air pump. First, you go around to all of your low point drains, and there are several, but most new units have writing on the side that shows low point drains. You'll just open these. Any water, any pressure will drain out the low points. We have one more on the other side. This is a low point in the hot water system. This is a low point in the cold water system. You want to open those and just let them drain. On this particular model, there's also one more low point here. This is your freshwater tank. So if I had water in the fresh water that I was hauling, I would open this and it will let that out. This is our black water flush. There is a possibility that when you want to wash out your black water tank, which is your toilet, you would hook a hose up here at the campground, turn on the pressure, leave your black drain open on your sewer hose, and it washes the inside of the tank. Is because of how this is a pressure washer inside, sometimes it can retain water. So in case it's retaining any water in this line, because I know sometimes this pipe goes into your black tank, and if you don't get the water out, it can freeze and bust there, and you have to replace a whole black water tank. So that is the reason we're going to do this. Pump is an old one the boys had for airing up bicycle tires and basketballs. Put the pump in. You do not want compressed air because the plumbing system on your camper will only hold 30 pounds. You want to pump a few times, and whatever water may be in those lines is now blown out. That's all we're after. That is on our black water holding tank clean out. Now, this is our city water connection. When you're in a campground, you have city water. You bring your hose here. Make sure you use the manufacturers of campers recommended 90-degree elbow here. And then we always use an inline filter because you don't know what you're getting for campground water as far as quality and purity. So we do this, we hook it up, and then we pump. This next part is a 2-person job.
Okay, so my job is to go inside, and I'm going to turn on all of the faucets and stuff so that when he blows air out, then the water will come out of the lines. So let's go turn on the water. All right, we're inside the camper. We're going to flip this on and turn this on. And we're watching for water to come out. All right, it's dripping out. No more drips.
All right, so we should be done in there.
There's no more drips, so I'm going to turn this off. And turn this off. And turn this off. This is the outdoor shower.
Valve on, valve on. That looks to be on. Tell me when that quits blowing.
This is what he was doing on the outside while I was inside watching the water. He was just pumping air through the lines. It's not dripping anymore.
All right. So she says all the drips have stopped. So we should be finished with pumping. Now that air supposed to have pushed all the water out of the pipes. So standing water is what freezes. That's why the weatherman tells you to drip your faucets when it's going to be below freezing. So we should have all of our fresh water clean. These are our low point drains again. We can close those. We can go to the front and make sure we got this one closed. It is closed, so now everything is bottled up. We blew a little bit of water out just now in our sinks when we were blowing the water. So the reason I like to have a gallon of antifreeze, because I don't know what water may have puddled or be standing in one of our holding tanks, whether that's the gray water, which is shower, or it is the black water, which is toilet. Shower sinks go to gray water. This sink will have a trap, just like at home. So below it, it has a grease trap. In your bathroom sink and in your shower, they have traps, and they call them grease traps, but what they really do is keep gases from coming backwards from your septic system. So what I always do is make sure I have antifreeze in the traps, this sink, some in the shower drain, and I'm going to flush the rest of this into my black tank. Because a frozen pipe, whether it be pressurized or drain, whether it be your water coming in or your drain going out or your holding tanks, a frozen pipe is bad no matter where it is. This is a tankless water heater. Here's where you turn it on and off. But one thing the technician told us to do is to pull this pop-off valve like that. So if this builds up too much pressure, this is called a pop-off valve. If it builds up too much pressure, this will blow, and that releases the pressure before it tears up your water heater. One thing we want to do in the winterization process, we want to make sure we open the pop-off valve, because there's any residual water in our water heater, we want it out of there. I don't see any drained, so we should be good. Close it back. Now we're winterized. I like a little extra assurance to know for sure I don't have any water that is freezable in any of my lines. I picked up 3 more gallons of antifreeze, and I picked up this little drill pump. And I'll show you how we do this. This was a Harbor Freight for like 17 bucks. I always keep a drill in the camper to run our jacks up and down, because I'm too old to enjoy hand cranking anymore. So I need the drill, I need the pump, a little piece of garden hose, and antifreeze. And this is just added protection for more peace of mind from what I did yesterday. First, I got to have an old hose. This goes on the inlet. We will drop that hose into our antifreeze, and I may have to shorten it. We're going to attach our pump to our camper. This is a little hose that came with one of our filters. If you do like we do and you replace your inline water filter every year, you'll have several of these just around. So I keep this just for winterizing. So I didn't have to buy another hose for this end. This end, stick down in our jug of antifreeze. Just like that. Now, when I turn this pump on, it will pump antifreeze straight into the water. We start at the farthest spigot. In our little camper, that should be the outdoor shower on the other side. All right, now then go to the outdoor shower and tell me when pink water starts running out.
You got pink. So what I'm doing is turning on. I'm giving him the signal by stomping, because he can't hear with the pump running. And when I turn this on, he pumps it, and then I'll stomp to let him know when to turn it off. Turn it on, stomp. It's coming on. So turn it off, and then I do that again for the hot. And you can see the shower floor has got pink in it. That means the antifreeze has been running out the lines.
Now we've got antifreeze flowing through all our pipes, all of our pipes. This is potable, actually drinkable antifreeze. Once we unwinterize, we just hook up water, we run fresh water in till all the pink is gone, and then you're good to go. I wouldn't drink it right out of the bottle, but according to the manufacturer, you can. If you look now, we probably, to winterize our little guy, we used about 1.5 gallons of antifreeze. And so I have the extra that will be ready because we like to camp no matter what the temperature is. So this probably will not be our last time to winterize this winter. Harbor Freight, 17 bucks, an old piece of hose, little one we salvaged off of a filter, RV antifreeze. Now I feel more assured that we will not freeze and bust. These electric water heaters, they recommend you having them full of this antifreeze. That's part of the reason that I did this, because the tankless needs antifreeze in it. Now I'm sure that it's there. No worries. So this one is now ready for the 20-degree weather tomorrow.